Over the weekend, the nation paused to remember the 9/11 terrorist attacks. However, a new generation is now growing up without direct memory of that day. Our Alana Wingate joins us live now with more on efforts from local leaders to keep that memory alive. Alana?
That's right, Justin. There is a common phase many people ask on the anniversary of September 11th, 2001's terrorist attack. Where were you? However, today, thousands of local children who recall the day not as an experience, but rather a brief tale told in history class. Among those leading the push is County Legislator Elizabeth Rankin, who was a highlighted speaker at Saturday's Remembrance Ceremony in Mayville. A few weeks ago, Rankin brought her 16-year-old son to Ground Zero in New York City, using the visit as an opportunity to stress the importance of never forgetting the day.
As it moves from our live experience to the history books, that we remember and we keep it alive, that we make people understand what that day meant to us. And the sad thing is, as you're mentioning, they're not talking a whole lot about it in the schools. So let's support that and advocate for that. I certainly did with my son, and I really think we need to make sure that that's something that our youth can remember moving forward.
Rankin's words rang true to State Senator George Borrello, who agreed, saying, "Young people don't remember the day as an experience, but a history lesson."
Unfortunately, we are getting further and further away from that day. And as Elizabeth pointed out, her 16-year-old son, or my nieces and nephews that I've talked to, for them, it's not a memory, it's a story. It's a story that we are not telling enough. You know, it's a cliche, but it's true. Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. But in this case, there are those who hate this nation that realize that we are not remembering this day and what the consequences were. And that frightens me.
Those fears were real for so many people, including Chautauqua County Sheriff James Quattrone.
After September 11th, 2001, when I saw my brother be deployed several times, the anguish that went through my family's life, the anguish that I had in worrying about him, and I am thankful that he made it home safe.
Said Quattrone, who discussed parallels to the current situation overseas.
With the incidents that are going on, had gone on in Afghanistan, I feared that my son would be deployed, and some of his friends and co-workers and fellow servicemen were deployed.
Many people in the local community still have a connection to the horrific events, including County Executive P.J. Wendell, who says the day brings him back to country music star Alan Jackson's famed song, "Where Were You?"
We pause and wonder. And I was really responding to his lyrics that I was teaching a class full of innocent children, high schoolers. Innocence may be questioned at times, but yet they were innocent to what was going on in the larger world around them.
Said Wendell, who became emotional when discussing the loss of his friend, Amy King.
I was in shock as I watched what was happening. Even more shocked to hear that a lifelong childhood friend was aboard that plane that fateful day.
This year marked 20 years since the attack, with many across the community paying homage to the victims that day. Groups from local police, fire, EMS, and even sports teams got involved. Teams like the Fewsburg Youth Football Squad, who held a powerful tribute during the junior varsity Saturday night game, when the players and cheerleaders walked their track to the Jacksons' iconic tune.
Wow, that's just such incredible video there, Alana. Thank you so much for sharing this story with us. And I think that that's what a lot of people come to see now, unfortunately, is in today's world and in our lives, there is this group of young people, young kids who don't know. They don't remember 9/11 other than just what their parents had to say, and you see this. They're from Frewsburg, where these young children who I don't think would otherwise know that this would have happened other than their parents' recollection. So it's really breathtaking to see. So